Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Tennessee Yankee. Hey, today I'm doing a quick project on the CanAm. I've already completed it, learned a few things, and want to show you a few things that hopefully you'll not make my mistakes. That's usually what happens on my channel. You learn from my mistakes. But this has turned out well in the end, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. What we did is I added a winch remote to the CanAm, and I also am adding a seatbelt bypass. So let's get after it. Okay guys, here's the part number for that winch remote, and let me see, 715-00-6504. So that's a CanAm part. I did get it from Amazon. I'll post a link in the description. These are the kind of parts that they're one day, gone the next. So I'm not sure if I'll even be able to put a link in there for you, but I want to show you at least this part number so you can search the internet for it. So the way this came, and again, learning from one of my mistakes, came with this harness piece here, and it came with these loose wires that actually have these, they have pins in them, and then you push them in to the different spots, and then once they're in there, they're locked in place. And I wasn't very careful when I first put them in, and I actually put them in the wrong orientation, and then I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to get them out. So I ended up just hardwiring this, soldering the wires together, and that's going to be a good connection anyway. And then this is what I actually found. This is probably what you're most interested in. So underneath the dash, this is what you're looking for. This is what you want to hook into to add an extra remote to your factory winch. It doesn't affect the setup that you have inside the cab. This will just add that extra remote for you. So this is what you would have plugged into this thing had I wired it up properly. But as you can see, these wires weren't going to line up with the correct pins the way I pushed those in there. So what I ended up doing when I hardwired this is, you see, let's look at this side. There's a red, a black, and a green. So the red goes to the red. That's over here in the A position. The green goes to the green in the middle. And then I ran the blue that's on the right side that's listed as C over here. I ran the C to the black. So I tested that, just put the wires together, and then everything worked fine. So I soldered it together. So I'll show you on the machine my setup for that, and then show you how the remote works. So out here at the machine, you can see there's a ton of loom available here that was underneath the dash. When I first started looking at it, I didn't notice all this loom under there. It was all taped up with yellow tape. So I didn't get a good chance to pay good enough attention to the wires at the time, but that's how much loom you have when you untape it with the yellow tape that was on it. And then this is the end of the remote bracket here. So I just have everything in here, all three of the wires on each one that we just talked about. They're soldered together, heat shrunk. I put them in the loom, and then I wrapped it with electrical tape. So I'll tuck that up underneath there and zip tie it. This is where I ended up putting the remote right here. I just drilled a little 1-inch hole with the hole saw, stuck it through there, and then they gave you 2 little screws that you can put it in the plastic with. So that seems like a good mounting spot right here at the dash. And then this is what the remote looks like. That came with it. And here's, of course, the factory remote section. So yeah, all you do is line up the little pin here. Let's see, where is it? So this little pin here goes in here. So that's my setup. All right, so let me show you how this works. I just flip the key on. We'll come around to the front here, and you can see how much I have available. It's not hugely long, but it gets me out front where I want to be, or at least well off to the side when I want to use it. So out, in. So I really like having that set up. It helps you get the winch cable back properly instead of getting wound all screwed up. And then you can see it didn't really affect anything in here. Everything still works with the in the cab too. Another neat little feature is you got this dust cap on here. That seems like a pretty tight fit. So yeah, that's the setup. That should work nice. And okay, the next little goodie I want to install here is this little seatbelt warning bypass, because what's annoying is it's not just like it tells you to wear your seatbelt, it cuts the engine power and it's kind of jerky. So when I want to move my side-by-side 20 feet, I don't want to have to put my seatbelt on to do that. So this is simply just goes under the seat. You unplug the seatbelt harness from where it's wired up to the frame and plug this in, and that will be going away. So this is another part number X001M49G8V, and it looks like this is good for several different models of side-by-side, so they must all use the same seatbelt sensor. All right, guys, you don't get much more simple than this. Just under the driver's seat, I got such a menagerie of wires down here, but you can see this bracket. This is on the seat frame. This little connection, that's where I unhooked it. So we'll take this one here and plug this into that, and then we'll be disabled. All right, snap together. Add it to the pile of other wires. Put the seat back in. And let's test it. And we should not see that error anymore. So I'll put it into gear. Nothing about wear the seatbelt, so that's beautiful. Alright guys, hope you found this helpful, these two little tips. And happy riding. We'll see you next time.